Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Unfound podcast channel on YouTube. I am Unfound's host. Before I get started, I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel and please hit that little bell button for when we upload videos such as this one. You will be alerted immediately. In addition, when I do the live shows on Wednesday nights, you will be, of course, alerted for those as well. As the title says, this is a map analysis of the disappearance of Kevin Nguyen from Fort Wayne, Indiana on December 9th of 2018. So not quite 3 years ago. What you are seeing on the screen right now is what Google would say would be the most efficient walking route from the brass rail. You can see it labeled right there. To the Arby's, where Kevin was seen on video twice, over to where he was living with his parents, and that is their address over there. Their address is readily available publicly, so I did not mind showing it. So as you can see, right here in the middle of the screen, 4.3 miles, and walking, it would take an hour and 28 minutes. Now, you should know that if I do a car route, it is a little different. You can see how it changes. It is a little bit different as far as the direction. But since, as far as we can tell, Kevin was walking, I'm going to leave it on the walking setting. So I'm now going to zoom in, show you some important points. I am going to do a little bit of theorizing, although not necessarily as to what happened or anything, but just some things that I want you to think about. So I'm going to zoom in now on the area of the brass rail and Arby's, and I'm just going to keep it like this. It tends to get a little busy if I actually go to a satellite picture. So the brass rail is right here. The Arby's is right here. And as you can see, the Arby's is on the way from the brass rail to Kevin's house, if we are to believe that is what he was doing that night and passing by that video, which makes all the sense in the world. He's at the brass rail, and we don't know why he left the brass rail without waiting for his ride. But it seems like that's what happened. There could be a lot of different reasons for that. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and show you that this is how close the brass rail and the Arby's are. Very close, within, what does it say, 200 feet? I would say there is about 400 to 500 feet between them, going from here to here. Now, as far as where Kevin's glasses were found, the parking lot is behind the brass rail area right in here. And a bouncer did say that there was some sort of, I don't know how much of a fight it was, but some sort of confrontation. The owner of the brass rail, or the manager, owned up to that. But we're not sure how long it went. We're not sure how many people were involved. In fact, the details of it, at least I think, are a little sketchy. You want to be suspicious about that and think there's more to it? Totally fine. Very well, you may very well be right. So the glasses were found approximately 10 days later back here in the parking lot area. My understanding, though, is that when his mother came to pick him up, the front door is on the west side of the building. The parking lot is on the east side. And it very well may be that she pulled up on the west side of the building and Kevin was standing on the east side and walking away. So then we're going to go up here to the Arby's, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And what it shows is him walking in this direction. Walking that direction, just as these blue dots say. And it shows him walking twice, somewhere around 1:30 and then another time around 2:30 to 2:45. almost kind of being the copies of each other, these videos. There is no video, to my knowledge, that shows him actually coming back this way. So when he went at 1:30, went this way, somehow he got back to the brass rail without going past this camera again. He could have simply circled the block. We just don't know. I don't think anybody knows that. Now, a consideration in all of this is thinking about the temperature that night, what he was wearing, and could it be that this is all a factor of some sort of hypothermia, something like that? Very well could be. Now, we have to remember that Kevin is a resident of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He knows the area. And so what comes to my mind is that if he was cold, he had to know that St. Joseph's Hospital, which is a block west of where he would have been walking, the emergency room surely would have been open. You could probably get in there. They might kick you out eventually, being that you're not sick or anything, but that would be one way for him to get out of the cold. It's not Las Vegas. It's not New York City. I don't know how many other establishments, buildings would be open in this area, but a hospital is always a good choice if you're cold, as I think maybe we've even been at a hospital, maybe seen a homeless person hanging out in the emergency room area, is only there to get warm, not because the person's actually sick. So I think we have to think about that. And in fact, that would not be the only hospital that Kevin would come close to on his way home. You'll see that there's another one, Park View, way over here, much closer to his house, but we have Park View Hospital right there and right here, this whole area. So maybe he was still warm when he passed the first hospital, but he's getting cold. He wasn't dressed for the elements, and he could have gone into one of these places instead. It's something to think about. Now, what we can't ignore, and this is just too popular of a topic, very common topic in all disappearances, is this river that one way or the other Kevin was going to have to cross. Once again, if we believe that he had changed his mind, he'd called for a ride, but then for some reason decided, you know what, I'm just going to walk it. We can't ignore the idea that he went. There's no way to get home without going across this river. Could something have happened? I think our experience in disappearances says yes. I don't believe in the smiley face killer conspiracy. I believe it is a complete hoax. I do not believe that there are roving bands of attackers, abductors, looking for drunk, primarily men, and throwing them into bodies of water. I happen to believe that all of these people went into the water all by themselves. Maybe because they're drunk, maybe because they're high, they don't know what's going on. It's hard to say. But I do not believe in the smiley face killer theory. Instead, you've heard me talk about this before. I know that drunk people can't swim. That's why they die in water, because they can't swim. And then with Kevin's situation, we have to also take in the temperature of the air, the temperature of the water. Hypothermia would set in fairly quickly. There's no proof that he went into the water. But it's still something that should be considered. What else should be considered is, could there be foul play? Well, we have to start thinking about, just to kind of diagram this again for all of you, going down to the bottom left-hand corner, his mother shows up, but at the same time, right around the same time, Kevin is at the Arby's walking away from the brass rail. And she continued to sit there. She was trying to call him, call. He's not picking up. Very well could be that, of course, this is a long walk, an hour and 28 minutes. Could it be that someone there knew that where he lived and might be able to guess the route that he would take home? And, he's going up here, he makes a right, and somewhere in here a car pulls up and abducts him, somehow tracks him down. It's certainly possible. I'm not, and once again, I don't think there are any facts to support that, but there are no facts to support that he went into the water or anything else. But given that the walk would take 1 hour and 28 minutes, that is a long time that would give somebody or a group a lot of time for them to track him down if they had kind of had an idea of where he was going in the route that he might take. 1 hour and 28 minutes is a long time. So that is the route. Once again, he was down here. He is seen at 2:30 to 2:40 walking in this direction past this Arby's. And presumably he would take, this is what Google says in 2021, is the most efficient route to walk over to where he was living, way over here on the right side of the screen. Is it possible that he took a different direction? Is there some shortcuts in this route? Possibly. And Kevin being living there would certainly know them better than I would or Google would. But this is what the general direction would be. It very well could be that he went up here and went across here and over this way. A lot of different choices here. And we have to remember it's early in the morning, not going to be a lot of cars on the road, so there wouldn't be any stoplights and having to wait for traffic or anything. So he could probably pick whatever route he wanted. But that is the analysis, and I appreciate you watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you again soon.